Hey everybody, this video we're going to talk about graphing an exponential function of the form f of x equals b to the negative x, or f of x equals negative b to the ax. We could also have negative b to the negative x, which is what we have here. So if I look at this graph, I've already graphed it because I want to talk about the rotations for a minute. Why is it flipped over the x-axis? That has to do with this negative out in front. Remember, if a is negative, then we flip over the x-axis. Here our b is less than 1. It's a fraction, and usually when we have a fraction, our exponential function looks something like that. But it doesn't look like that. Even if I were to take this purple function and flip it over the x-axis, then it would not really land on the blue one at all. It's kind of going in the wrong directions. And that is because we have a negative x here. And what that does is it flips it over the y-axis. Now let's go ahead and plug in some points. The points that it tells us to plug in, or the x values it tells us to plug in, are negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so with these we're always just going to plug in the same values. So I have negative 5/8 to the negative 2. So we see how there's that flop right there. So this becomes negative 5/8 to the positive 2, which is negative 5 squared, which is 25, over 8 squared, which is 64. So that equals 25 over 64. You can follow the same procedure and get, at negative 1, we're going to get negative 5/8. And I forgot to add this negative on here. So at negative 2, we're at a little less than a half. At negative 1, we're at negative 5/8. At 0, if I plug in 0, I still get negative 1. Remember, usually when I plug in 0 and I don't have any shifts, and a is still 1, then my value is at y equals 1. 5/8 to the negative 0, that's 5/8 to the 0, which is 1. And then I have this negative out here, so I get negative 1, which is here. When I plug in 1, I'll get negative 8/5, which is more than 1. When I plug in 2, I get negative 64/25, which is almost negative 3. So it's there. Now, what is the asymptote? The asymptote stays the same because I haven't moved vertically up and down. So it is at y equals 0 still. So that's graphing an exponential of a function of that form.